Reusse Unchained, Reusse out in the universe here. Reusse in a parking garage.
I'm in a parking ramp at the Marriott Courtyard on Washington Avenue, and I've never been in this ramp before, and it says pay in advance, but I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So how can I pay
Did
in
you put your
advance?
card in, or are you are
I
you
don't
like
know what
are
I
you
do.
at the entrance blocking people right now, or where?
No, I'm in a play. I'm okay. I don't know. I'll just not pay and get a ticket or something. I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's on our mind? What did we decide about the Timberwolves' inactivity in the draft? Why they get the first pick in the second round? They got the guard from Marquette sitting there. The guy's a two-way player. He can score. He can do everything. They don't take him. They ended up trading down to a guy from Australia. Are they going to even have him sign, or are they going to? What are they going to do with
Well,
him? They
first of all,
can't.
Pat, put some respect on Rocco Zakarski's name, okay?
Yes,
Rocco
right.
Zakarski. So Tim Conley was asked, did you go into the draft planning to draft two 18-year-old 7-footers? And he said something like, I did go in hoping to draft 14.4 feet worth of players, so we did
Mm-hmm.
accomplish that goal. But yeah,
Well,
I think they have one open roster slot going into the second round, and agree or disagree. I think they said, well, we got a bunch of young guys that we've already drafted in the last 2 years that we're trying to find playing time
yes,
for, so we're not going to put another one in the queue, at least
they.
for a few years.
I would guess that the kid won't even. They won't even. They won't sign him. Right? They'll have him play
Yeah,
someplace.
he'll
They'll
either
have him
stay in
play.
Australia or he'll be a
Yeah.
two-way contract, and he won't be on the 15-man roster.
But the Frenchman, Joan. Now, what's with the Joan thing here? Is that that's a male name in France? Is it? I don't quite know
Well,
what's
the
going on.
southern Minnesota pronunciation would be Joan Beringer.
Yeah,
The
that's
France
right.
pronunciation would be Joan
Bernier.
Biranger.
Yeah,
Biranger.
Birage. And of course, we all have proposed that the Twins have him throw out the first ball to Juan Berenger, right?
That
That would have
joke
been
was on
nice.
Twitter all
Yeah.
night. It
Oh
would have
my
got
God.
people blocked by Royce back when he was
Yes,
on Twitter.
yes, that would have. I actually used the joke when I thought it was early on, and then I saw that it had been used 700 times already. So
Yeah, so
I
is
did
it
not.
Monsieur? Is that how you say Senior Monsieur
Monsieur.
Smoke? We need to come up with the French translation for Senior Smoke, I guess.
Yes. Anyway, he'll spend a lot of it. Now, when you get a first rounder and you two-way him, how much could they play at the other place? Can he like
Well,
stay in Des Moines all year if they want him to or
so
not?
I think first
First rounders
rounders
you can't two-way, right?
are not
Right.
two-way, but you
Yeah.
can play them like you can play them in Iowa. I don't know if that's like a negotiation within the contract or how that works,
Does
but
this
yeah, he will spend time playing in
does this
Iowa.
cost Luca his non-playing job? Was that a 2-year deal they signed with him last year, Luca? I remember they
Yeah,
signed him.
he has a team option for 2025-26. So there is some drama here in the next few days of will they exercise Luca Garza's team option for 2.3 million.
I was naive enough to expect him to play some last year. I thought that, when Rudy was hurt the year before and he played for a while, he showed some offensive ability. But boy, what did he play all year? 50 minutes or something
I
like
feel
that.
like there was
So,
a couple games he got in and made a big impact in a like non-garbage time in a couple of
mhm.
games, but
well,
he was mostly relegated to garbage time.
he can score, but he can't guard anybody, I guess. But we now, when do we find out if Julius opted in?
In the next like
I
four, I think
thought
it's next
today was
48
the day.
hours.
I thought it was the 28th or something, but maybe not. I
I
don't know.
believe I think the 28th. It's in the next 48 hours.
Mhm.
We're gonna know whether Julius and Naz Reid, who has to figure out, are they doing an extension? Is he gonna opt in and then do the extension after this year? We'll have to see.
Does Nas, if Nas opts out, you can bring him back, right? I
Yep.
mean, you can sign him. And but Julius, aren't we all betting that Julius is going to sign a Rudy Gobert type deal for a little less money, but for 3 years or something like that? That would be my guess, right?
That feels like a fair outcome for both sides, and that you'd create some more breathing room from the second apron by bringing his number down, and then you'd also control his rights to. You could then trade him in a year or whatever, and kind of kick the can down the road in that regard too.
So they have not got themselves out of the second apron, even though they traded Cat, right?
No, they have. Yep. So
They
they
have.
so starting when the league year turns over next week, they will, according to the Flagrant Howls spreadsheet of glory, they will be sitting about 10 or 11 million dollars below the second apron, and that includes your guy Yoann Béranger's 4.2 million dollars. But they are above the first apron, so they're still in the aprons, Pat, but they're going to be below the vaunted and the dreaded second apron.
Okay. So, but and the kid they drafted, but by 2030, when they're out there by Moose Lake or someplace with their new arena, we should be playing by him right then. So Judd and I, Judd is on record in my column for tomorrow to join me in predicting that they're gone out of Minneapolis.
Oh,
It couldn't have been more clear that. Oh yes, we would like Minneapolis to be an alternative, but we want to build hotels and restaurants and all kinds of stuff. But we're going to consider Minneapolis as long as it doesn't interfere with our vision, which is to build another Truist Park city like they have.
I think Moose Lake would be a great spot.
Yeah,
Just get
that's
up.
right.
Rename it
Yeah,
Wolvesville, though. It's
yeah,
got
that's
to be
right. Yeah,
renamed.
it would be damn near to
I think
Duluth,
there's
but they don't
actual
care.
wolves in Moose Lake too.
Yeah,
So
that's
Yep,
you
it'd
right.
be
There is.
perfect.
Home to Annie Adamczak, one of the greatest female athletes in Minnesota history. Won three straight titles in different sports:
okay.
softball superstar, basketball superstar, volleyball superstar. So,
It is kind of fun. To
uh,
your point, though, they made a point across all of their social media in the
yes.
interview. It's like, we're so insecure about the team moving out of the state or this or
Yeah.
that. And
Mhm.
Mark Laurie turns to the camera and he's like, everyone calm down. We're not, we might move them to Moose Lake, but we're
Yeah.
not moving
Yes.
them to Vegas.
They'll be in
Yeah.
So,
Minnesota.
yeah.
I can assure you of that.
Oh,
It is
man.
going to be interesting to see what the city does when they decide that they're going somewhere else to build their little village there. And what are we going to do with that big hole down there at First Avenue? And the North Loop's doing fine, but everywhere else between First Avenue and Hennepin Avenue and or Nicollet Ball, really, oofta. I wrote this for tomorrow, but a friend of mine who was here working, the second round of old sports writer who's now a national TV guy, said, "What is going on? You can't buy a shirt in this town." He says, "There's no retail."
Nope.
I said, "There is a Target, but he's not a Target guy." So, I don't know what we're going to do to get retail back in some degree in downtown, but I don't know. We gotta get people to go to work, I guess.
I
I
saw
don't know.
Sex, speaking of retail, Sex World just closed. They
Yeah.
announced they're
Yeah, now
closing
that
their
is a
It was
doors.
bad.
so small now, though.
Yeah, but that is a
It was
bad
a,
sign when we can't even keep saying, "Man, I missed that joke in tomorrow's column." I might, of course, as touchy as we're getting over there, they probably wouldn't like a Sex World joke.
It
So,
used to be
it's a good
three
run.
stories in that huge building, and by the end, it was
yes.
just a little nook on the ground floor.
hmm We,
Oh wait, so do they still have the private booths where you could see the people's
I don't
feet
know.
dangling
Well,
from beneath the curtain?
they had the back exit though, the back
Yep.
entrance where
Yep.
a coach of a local sports team was once seen going in the back exit, but we can't repeat who that was because
Oh
the
no.
fella was, yeah, that was, we were getting, like, we were getting reports that this guy went into the sex world, and my theory was, how did you know?
Yeah. Which coach? Which of
Yeah,
many?
well, we're not getting into that. We wouldn't do that. I have told the story though about Bernsey when we were down there having a couple of drinks at Mettler's and with the Vikings, and all the Vikings left at 10 to 11 to get back to the. They had to be and back at the dormitory at 11, and Coach Bernsey came in at 11:05 just to have a couple of drinks. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so
Amazing.
how about our Twinks? Where did this? You know what? They really look a lot better when they give up 0 and 1 run than when they give up 13. Don't you say?
It is
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
say
helpful. Yeah.
they play a lot more crisp baseball when they when they how does this happen that you're giving up more runs than any team in baseball history for damn near the whole month, and then Seattle, which is swinging the bats pretty good, comes in here and gets. They made Simeon Woods Richardson look great yesterday.
Yeah, did not see that one coming. So
What do you think? Now, I think he's a competitor, don't you? I think I mean, he'll give you
Simeon?
his best. He'll give you his best effort. But they once again showed no confidence in him because they hooked him after
Yeah.
5 again yesterday. So,
If there weren't injuries to Pablo and Zebby, I don't think Simeon is up here starting with the big league club. I think that's pretty safe to
but
say.
last year he was adequate, sort of, and this year he was, you know, okay, and then bad, and then they had to send him out. But I think at least he doesn't go out there and throw up on himself. So,
Depends on the start.
Yeah, it depends.
well,
About to say I've seen
he
some throw
just
up on
fetched
that
up.
shirt.
Last
What are
Saturday
they
he
going to
puked
do
himself.
tonight? What are they going to? Who's going to be the? Are we going back? Is it supposed to be Festa?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
So
do an opener.
we're going to
Probably.
do a
We're
camping
doing
a
openers
lefty.
now, Pat. Rocco's
Louis.
talked about this. We're
I feel like
back
it
to the
hasn't
opener.
worked yet this season, right? It's the
No.
last
Damn it.
couple times it's not
Well,
gone
they were
well.
going to have, the idea is he doesn't face the top of the order 3 times, right?
Yes.
So last time they give up a run in the first, and then he gets bounded around in the second. So, you know what you're doing that when you have to use an opener? You're saying to your young starter, "We think you stink." That's why we don't think you're any good. So we have to try to protect you. We're so desperate we have to pitch you,
Yeah.
but we don't really have any faith in you, son. So
Well, are you excited, fast forwarding to Sunday, for the first Target Field Sunday Night Baseball appearance in 15 years?
uh,
Twins.
and you
I'm
mean
sorry.
at
They're
Twins?
in
Yeah,
Detroit.
it's not
Twins are in
Target Field.
Detroit. When's the Target Field one, though?
I
They don't.
had no idea that it had been that long, and that, and I guess I'm not enough of a student of Sunday Night Baseball anymore to realize that it's the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cubs, and the Yankees, and
And the
they don't put
Braves.
Wait a
anybody else.
second. So, okay, yeah, they're in Detroit, and that's my bad. I
Mhm.
thought it was that they had not been to Target Field.
No, they
The
haven't
Twins,
played
period, have not played Sunday Night Baseball in
No, no,
5
no.
15
years.
years?
They have not played Sunday Night Baseball in 5 years, and it hasn't been at Target Field in 15 years.
But we have no scheduled Target Field Sunday Night Baseball.
No.
So that
But the
streak continues.
Bombas, the
Okay.
Yes.
Bomba squad got a home game, right? Did they
They
get a
had
home
they
game?
had a ESPN Wednesday game.
Oh,
It was not
Okay.
Sunday Night
Even
Baseball.
the Bomba
They
squad
couldn't
couldn't
get
get
on
a
there.
Sunday.
No
We were
idea.
we were setting a world record for
The
home runs, and they wouldn't put us on TV.
the last time the Twins played a home game on Sunday Night Baseball, Scott Baker started and Danny Valencia homered.
That's right.
7 shutout innings from Scott Baker.
Yeah,
Former
I like
guest,
Scott Baker.
former guest on Danny Valencia. What
That's
a
right.
beauty.
Swag when in doubt, swag out. Yep.
Swaggy V.
Was that you and I, Phil? Were we still
Yeah.
together then when we had
That
Danny?
was I think that was like the second year of our show, because Danny was kind of all right. He's going to be the starting third baseman, and yeah, it did not.
Not
You
as
know what's
good
funny
as
is like Trevor
it wasn't
Plouffe would
as
have been
good
bad
as
at.
it
Go
wasn't
ahead.
as good as having Shianko on, no. And while he was getting massages, we were always very nervous about what might happen, even with audio, what might happen with when he was on the massage table doing his show. It was I don't know. It was
Yeah, you could hear the elbow pressing into his lower back. Yeah, we should have had some foresight. As I was going to say, Trevor Plouffe is awesome at media now,
yes.
but he was even by his own admission would not have been good in that
I
role
like
15
him
years ago.
better. I like him better with you guys though than I do. He's way too positive on Twins TV. Don't
Yeah,
you
I
think?
mean, I think
He's
you're like
leaving.
sitting in there
He's
with your
cheering. Yeah.
Twins polo shirt on. It's kind of tough.
Well, everybody, somebody sent me an email today. What do you think of the Twins saying they're losing money? Blah blah blah. And well, they probably are now because they've gone from 52 million a year in TV to 2 million a year in
Yeah.
TV or whatever it is. I mean, that's
And their attendance is half of what it was
yeah,
10
yeah,
years ago.
yeah. That's right. So you know, it's not preposterous to suggest that. So
Yeah.
now it was but you still have something you paid 38 million for that's you're going to get a 1.7 billion for. So that's that kind of makes up for it, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's a good chance that they're going to keep owning this team for.
Yeah, it's not. If they are actually asking for as much money as people say they're asking for, I don't know if they're gonna move it. This you know what we're what we're discovering now. What a wonderful year 2022 was when it wasn't it 22 or 23 when it never rained. They had one. They
I
had
think
one rain delay that year. The
yeah, I think it
drought.
was 23.
Gee, I've
Oh,
said this 100 times. I miss drought. Drought is
Bring back drought.
fantastic. Drought is terrific. So,
2010, their first year in the ballpark. I don't think they
oh
ever
yeah,
got rained out, right,
that's
Phil?
right.
Mhm.
But 2 years ago or whenever it was so bad and the farmers were whining that they had one rain delay or something. I think at home. So now that was yesterday. 4 hours. You know who didn't like 4 hour rain delay? The Mariners. They wanted to get on the plane, don't you think? They wanted to get on the plane and head to Texas because,
They seem pretty content and also annoyed because even though it rains a lot in their city, they have a roof that they can
yes,
throw over
they
the
do.
top, you
Yes,
know?
they do have a roof. They do have a roof. So, anyhow, we're NHL draft tonight, Judd, but we don't have a pick.
I still think there might be a trade, though. I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised if Marco Rossi gets traded tonight.
Oh, God, really?
Oh, yeah.
He was pretty good last year.
They didn't think so as much as you do.
Oh, they don't like him
They don't like him that much.
because he's not defensively. He doesn't fit the mold, or what?
Not big enough. And he's up for a contract, and they don't want to pay him what he wants. So I think he might be traded tonight
Oh,
or
okay,
tomorrow.
okay. Well, but if they're going to get a number one draft choice, they got to trade him today, right?
I don't think they want a top draft pick. I think they want players who can help them
Well, how about
immediately.
this stiff we gave up our number one for too? Though they gave up a bunch of assets for this guy. Is any good? The former sixth
Yurchek,
overall pick.
defenseman.
Is he
They
play
think
better?
they think so. I mean, we'll find out.
But you didn't like him at all the first month or so, right? Did he get a little better or what?
Well, they didn't really give him a shot. He was here for like 5 games, and then they sent him down. So we'll find out. I mean, I don't know yet.
Okay. Well, if you don't know, nobody knows because you
That's
go to
right.
every one of those damn
I
games.
didn't get to see him enough. I couldn't scout him.
Okay. All
Oh, man.
right.
All right. Well, good luck figuring out your parking situation there,
Yeah,
Pat.
don't get
We
towed.
hope you, don't
What's
get a
wrong
ticket or
with
get towed.
cash? What's wrong with driving in and giving somebody a 10 and parking? What's
Tell me
wrong
about
with
it.
cash? Whatever happened to cash?
I
Yeah,
miss those
well,
days. What happened to people working?
Yes.
You got these damn machines now.
Yes.
They don't work half the time. People are honking behind you. Let's get people back in the workforce.
That
Oh
is
my
right.
God.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks,
ya.
Pat.
See you,
See ya.
Pat.
Bye.
Reusse Unchained.